Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
Well, first of all, obviously, I want to thank the Chamber for an amazing honor. I literally, when Mike came in and told me that, I literally said, "You got to be kidding me." I can't believe it. I said, "Why me?" I'm just being honest with you. I never looked at myself in those eyes or vision. And when I think about the people in this room, as I came in tonight and greeting people and shaking hands, people I know, it just humbled me that much more to think that I'm here and getting this award. So, the irony, Mike, that I didn't tell you about the day you came in and told me that I was receiving the award is I literally was in my office booking the flight to the Chairman's Circle meeting for this year. I'm supposed to be in Miami Beach right now receiving that award. It was funny because he told me the date and I'm like, that date rings a bell. I can't. I went back to my computer and it was like, that's why it rang a bell. That's because I was booking the flight. So I'd much rather be here. Trust me, not a problem. Nevertheless, I see this as an opportunity to give thanks where thanks is due. And what a better opportunity to do it with to do it in the public. I want to thank those that are most important to me. So I'm going to do that. If you'll indulge me for a little bit, and I'm going to give a little background along the way. First and foremost, I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I would not be standing here today without him. So, he gets all the glory. Next, I want to thank my amazing parents. They aren't here tonight. They passed away 5 years ago, but I know that's because of them that I have the work ethic that I do today. They both worked full-time jobs. My dad worked 2 jobs his entire working life to make ends meet for myself and my sister. And as I got to think about why did I ever get on this entrepreneur or want to own my business track, I got to give my parents the credit again. I was 13 years old and I wanted a moped. Some of you probably don't know what a moped is. That's okay. It's a motorized bike. But I wanted a moped. We lived out at Lake White on Route 551, and I lived at the bottom of the hill, and all my friends lived at the top of the hill. And I walked a lot. And so my dad said, "Well, you can have a moped, but you're going to have to have some skin in the game." So I'm 13 years old. How do I do that? But there was a paper route. So I was the Chillicothe Gazette paper guy out at Lake White, and before I got the moped, I walked 5 to 6 miles every night after school. This is what's crazy. I got thinking about this. Now, this is 45 years ago, but I walked 5-6 miles carrying papers on a 2-lane road, probably with some cash on me. I'm doing collections. I'm like, who would allow their kid to do that today, right? There's no way. So. So when I got the moped, I realized, hey, not only can I do my route faster, I can gain some more customers, and that was my first initial opportunity to be an entrepreneur. I think it really gave me that spirit of being in control of your own destiny when it comes to that. Next, I want to thank my wife, Jennifer. With me through thick and thin, I can tell you, and I thank her for trusting me in taking that first leap of faith when I decided to become a State Farm agent. I graduated from Wittenberg in 1990. I got my first real job at the Franklin County Board at MRDD, and been working there 3.5 years. I've gotten a couple of promotions. She was at Ohio State, finishing up her degree, and we set a date to be married. And was going to be fine. She was going to graduate from high state. I was already in Columbus working, so we had our plans. Well, then I decided to be a State Farm agent, and that location is 2 hours south of Columbus at a little town called Trenton, Ohio, which is outside Middletown. And so we kept our wedding date. She decided to get an expedited master's program, like a 1-year deal. And so our wedding day, our wedding weekend, we have our rehearsal dinner on Friday. We get married on Saturday. We open a few presents on Sunday, and then we high-five, and we'll see you next weekend. And for the first 2.5 months, we only saw each other on the weekends. I wouldn't advise starting a marriage that way, but it worked really well. So it was pretty unique. But, we had already set our wedding date, and we just had to go forward. It was just what had to happen, and we made it work. Catch up my notes here. So I started my agency, like I said, in a little town called Trenton, and nobody does this today, but I started as a scratch agent. And what that means is I started day one, I had 0 customers. Most agents, insurance agencies start with a policyholder base, I started scratch. And another little unique story is that to start, the deal was I had to have 2,000 X dates. I know there's some insurance agents here in town, so or in the room, so they know what I'm talking about. Have 2,000 X dates. So I had to have 2,000 people that I knew when their insurance was coming due. So I had to pick up the phone, call that many people, and find out. So when I started, I would have a list of people to call and be able to talk to them. Well, back then, I lived in Columbus. The opportunity was in Trenton. Long distance was 25 cents a minute. So I drove from Columbus to Trenton every day and popped on the phone for 3 hours at a time and then drove back to Columbus. I only tell that story because, again, I think it personifies what being an entrepreneur does. There's a lot of hard work, especially starting a business. There's a lot of hard work involved. And so I did that, and we started a very successful agency. 3.5 years into that, was offered an opportunity to go into leadership with State Farm. I'll speed it up now. So did that, and then I had the opportunity to lateral in that position back to Chillicothe. God showed up again. In the meantime of all this, we had our first son, Trey, our first child, Trey. And he had some health issues. He's special needs. God provided a way for us to move back home, because I married married my high school sweetheart, from Waverly. And so we had a chance to move back to Chillicothe, much closer to home, around a support system. And that was just a true blessing from the Lord that I was able to do that. So I moved back, and we were able to do that for 4 years. I passed up a number of opportunities to move on with the company from a promotion standpoint, and I actually got to the point where I was going to have to probably give up my career at State Farm. I mean, things were going like this, but they wanted me to move on, and I wasn't mobile. I had my whole support system around with my son, and I wasn't going to give that up. So whatever it took, we were going to have to stay put. God showed up again. There was an agent by the name of Don Daly. He's been an agent for 31 years. Some of you probably remember Don. And every year I was in this leadership position. And I'd go in and say, Don, how's it going? He goes, I'm hanging it up. This is my last year. And then he wouldn't hang it up. And he'd hang on for another year. So this final time I went in and he said, this is it. I'm giving it up. This is my last year. And I said, Don, I need to know if that's true, because I'm looking for a place to have an opportunity to stay put. And he said that's all I needed to hear. He was worried about who was going to take over his agency, and when he knew that I was going to be able to take over his agency, then he stepped aside. And I'm so forever grateful to that man, because again, he provided a way. I think again God ultimately gets the credit, but he provided that opportunity for me to take up roots permanently in Chillicothe. So 2003, we started the agency back in, and then Mike gave you some numbers. We've been able to grow it really fast, growing it mostly, though the last 7 years, we've probably grown the agency 40%. And that's only because, and this is where I want to pause for a second, it's only because of the team that I have. Like I said, I want to give credit where credit's due. I have the best team I've ever had in my 31 years of being in business, and I want to thank them. I'm going to name them. They can stand up if they don't. If they want to stand up, that's fine. But I'm just going to go around real quick. Aaron Phillips, he's my team leader. Jason Landrum, Cameron Mail, Rachel Hines, and Jazzy Pierce. They run the office here in Chillicothe. They service the team members. Don Hale, one of my newest team members in Chillicothe, Michelle Gosshorn, and did I miss anybody? And then I have a few, who did I miss? Oh, Rhonda Lott, sorry. I'm trying to look through the room. Rhonda, you're too short, I can't see it. And I have 4 that aren't here tonight. Jerry Doobie, Nikki Denny, Steve Chapman, and Ashton Moody. But I'm just telling you, it makes your job easier when you surround yourself with good people and hardworking people. And I just want to thank them, and we're going to stop and give them applause. So. Now, just a little brief history on Chillicothe Monument, because you're like, what in the world were they thinking? This was a brainchild of a good friend, best friend, Justin Long, and I are sitting on 2015, waiting to ring in the new year, and we're just waiting and we're just talking, and somehow, I don't know how, I don't remember, but we got on the idea that we should start a monument shop. And so we had it all planned out, and the discussion continued after the first of the year, but like a lot of good ideas, as we begin to think about how much hard work, how much time and effort it was going to take with our own full-time jobs, the idea kind of waned. Enter my third partner and best friend, Eric Gano, who's back there. Eric? And he said, he knew about it. He said, did you guys ever start that monument business? And I'm like, nah, we just kind of chickened out. It's going to take a lot of hard work. And he said, well, what if you got a third partner? Would you consider it then? And so we talked about it, and we decided to jump in and do it. And I just got to tell you again, hard work. You may not believe this, but the 3 of us, left our daytime job for the first 5 years. We'd leave our daytime job, we'd go put on our work clothes, and we would go out and dig holes and foundations and pour concrete for foundations and put monuments up for the first 5 years. Our wives thought we were crazy, there's no doubt, but we had a vision. We believed that this could happen, and I'm really thankful we hung in there, and we just kept seeing the opportunity, and then things really changed. We stepped out, got out of our comfort zone again. We bought the old CHS TV building. You guys remember that? And we rehabbed that, and we put in a full showroom, and things really began to take off. And then our mentor, Jay Hardy from Hardy Memorials, he had really helped us through getting the business started. He decided to retire and asked us if we'd be interested in purchasing his business. And we did that. We went from doing 40 monuments a year, year one, to now we do 40 to 45 a month. And again, God's had his hand in that, and it's just because of, I feel and believe that we do it for the right reason. We really want to take care of our community, and I'm proud of that growth, but I'm mostly proud of the work we've been able to do from a philanthropic standpoint. Mike mentioned a few things. We've actually done a number. We've done a number of those where we've just seen families in need, and we just wanted to take advantage of that opportunity and provide people when they need something. I do want to mention another thing that really I almost forgot. Another thing that helped our business take off is Eric Gano, who was a partner, had a daytime job, came to us and we took over Hardy Memorial, and he said, I love this business enough. I'm really enjoying this. Would you guys consider just hiring me to run the show? And there's nothing better than to have one of your partners running the shop, right? So we hired him in 2000, and he is really taking that thing to a whole new level. and he was the brainchild behind doing the work in veterans at Green Lawn, doing the Veteran Circle. So I'll just wrap up here. Oh my gosh, I didn't wear my glasses. And okay, I'm about done, but I want to make sure I don't miss anything, okay? So, make sure I didn't miss anything. So I don't want to walk off here and say, darn it, I forgot to say that. I only get to do this one time. You only get to do the year one time. I know that. Well, so what I wanted to say is that when I accept this award tonight, I want to accept the award for Chillicothe Monument, not for myself, but on behalf of the three of us, Justin Long, Eric Gano, and myself. So I want to make sure that you understand they are equal partners and have had every bit of the success, or helped the success of that business as much as I have. So, what's the common thread here? Around all the things that have went well. First is trust the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. Acknowledge him in all your ways, and he will direct your paths. Believe that. Believe that. Second common thread here is surround yourself with good, ethical, moral, hardworking people. And if you do that, good things will happen. Good things will happen. Simple as that. And last, give back to your community. I didn't get a chance to really talk about that, but give back to the community that supports you. That's something that is a big part of me. I believe in it. It's always something that my wife says, why are you volunteering again? And I'm like, well, I have the time. You know, as a business owner, people can't go to meetings at 12 o'clock in the afternoon if they work 9 to 5. And so I have that opportunity, so I can't say no. And so give back. You know, because Diane said, we have an amazing community here. We have something special here in Southern Ohio. And because of that, I want to give back to those that have taken care of me and my family. So again, I want to thank the Chamber for this incredible honor. I want to thank all of you for indulging me just a little bit tonight. Hopefully it didn't take too long. And finally, I want to thank my State Farm team, my two incredible partners at Chillicothe Monument, my two best friends. And you all are a blessing to me and my family. Thank you.